Herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Herb.
Welcome to episode 611 of the Eugene Cannabis TV show. You got your show host, DanK here, and Blue Whale is with me again today. We appreciate Blue Whale coming in. Known Blue Whale for many years and been a big supporter of the Emerald Empire Hemp Fest. And let me give you a shout out. Thank you for your help, Blue Whale.
Oh, you're very
really
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Blue Whale, if I could clone Blue Whale, we'd have a Seattle Hemp Fest here. But anyway, so we got some stories to talk about, and I want to talk about a few things real quick. The Oregon Marijuana Business Conference, I went to that. I even wore my shirt again today. This is what I wore yesterday. If you happen to see that on the news on KMTR Channel 16, you'll see a brief glimpse of me in the exhibitor area. I saw myself on the news. But anyway, great conference. I took the media pass and the camera and went down and talked to the exhibitors and ran into some old friends and made a few new ones. And so if you have anything to do with medical marijuana business, these conferences are the place to go. They're quite expensive to get into, but this one particular one was a one-day event and it was $100. So it's you got to want to go pretty bad. So, but I don't have the income for that myself, but they let me in on a media pass, and so I want to give them a shout out. At that's the Oregon. Excuse me a minute here. Where's the website? Oh yeah, OregonMBC.com. So that's OregonMBC.com. So that's their website. And then coming up, our friend Jerry Norton is doing the Oregon Hemp Convention, and that's June 1st and 2nd. I'm sure to put that on your calendars. We've been invited to that, and we haven't been able to make it, but we'll hope to get it for this year. And the website for that is OregonHempConvention.com. And that's an incredible two-day event, and it's July 11th and 12th, and it's free admission, which is we always like free, you know. And it's just like as we're filming this, tomorrow night is the Cannabis Science Club that happens at the last Tuesday of every month. So when you've been watching this, it'll be over by then. But put this on your calendars. Always mark your calendar for the last Tuesday of every month, and you want to be at the old Cosmic, which now they call it World Pies downtown. But anyway, it's the corner of Charlton and West 8th. It's at 6 o'clock. And so, and I didn't write down what the last Tuesday next month is, but anyway, that's the day you're going to be there. And that's another free event and very educational, and you have a chance to meet a lot of fellow cannabis supporters, so it's a win-win on that one.
That's good.
Yeah, so anyway, so you brought some stories in to talk about, and I appreciate it.
Yes, I do. But first I want to say, I listened to Bernie Sanders again today, and you're probably sick of hearing about the political elections, but Bernie Sanders is our best bet. He wants to take cannabis out of the Substance Abuse Act and give it back to the states. And as far as Hillary Clinton, she doesn't even like medical marijuana. So we don't want her, and the Republicans, God knows, they're not for anything but themselves. So if you've never been a voter before, this is a good opportunity to vote for somebody that is on our side. I know the politics are corrupt, but Bernie Sanders isn't. And he's been an activist in the 60s, and I really do think he's on our side, and he wants to give cannabis back to the states and get the feds out of it. So if you've never voted before, this is a very important election. So all you have to do is go down to the DMV office or the or the library or other places, and you get a form you fill out and send in. And there's one thing to note, if you're an independent voter or a Green Party like I was, you have to change it to Democrat to vote in the primaries. That's very important. You know that in New York City, 3 million people were turned away because they were independents and they couldn't vote for Bernie because they didn't register 6 months ago as a Democrat.
Right, and we have till the 26th, which is, we're speaking now, is tomorrow. So by the time they see this, it'll be too late for them to change their registration for the next election.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what you should have done.
But Bernie only lost by 300,000 votes, and he would have got 3 million more. He would have swept New York. So it is rigged.
Yeah, excuse me. I was there at Saturday Market, and there was a Bernie booth. It's on the Freedom Plaza.
Yes.
And so I went up and talked to them, and I mentioned about that deal of switching to a Democrat. I said, "Oh yeah, I got 2 days to do that." And they said, "Yeah, you can do it right here." And I said, "Oh yeah." So he handed me the form, and I did it right there. So it's a done deal. I'm a Democrat now.
Yeah, okay. For the moment.
Yeah, for the moment, you bet.
I went to a Bernie meeting at the Wow Hall, and I wouldn't have known about this change if a lady hadn't told me. So I registered from Green to Democrat, and after the primary, you can vote. You can go back to Green or Independent.
Yeah.
So something to think about. Vote, and let's get Bernie elected, and change the law. He wants to legalize. He's not tied in. He's gotten $27 contributions. That's what he's getting. So let's register and vote. See what you can do.
That's right. And there's a Bernie office in town now too.
Yes.
Political office, yeah, or anyway, headquarters, I guess. So,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely the guy. And I've said for many years that every year, every election, it seems like no matter who wins, we lose. You know, so we need to break that trend. And Bernie's the only one I can see that's any possibility of that happening. If any of those other clowns get in as president, it's going to be, again, they won and we lost.
Yeah, because if God help us, if we get somebody like Ted Cruz in, because if I want to see a minister, I'll go to church. You know, and that's what he reminds me of. He's goody two-shoes. And
yeah, he said that already. He's already said that he listens to the Word of God. So God told him to, you know, and he didn't say this, but
yes,
with that kind of thinking, then, well, God might have told him to do a nuclear strike on Russia. You know, who knows?
Yeah. So he
Whoa.
Tea Party candidates and Chris Christie have said they'll repeal every state that has legalization. They'll repeal everything. So we don't want Tea Party candidates or Chris Christie in there. We need people that are more favorable to our coalition. So think about that.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's your future.
Yes, definitely.
As well as ours.
And it's interesting to see the registered guard with party articles on pot on a fairly regular basis. That's a trip.
Yes.
So what do you got? What's that one? Pot hip's the mainstream. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting story about a Eugene Home Science Club. And these women are all over 60 years old. And they're inquiring about cannabis. They said they're just curious, insists club secretary Jean Walters. We do try to keep up with our community issues as well, she said before the meeting. With the advent first of medical and then last year of legal, residents of all ages are curious about the intoxicating buds that rapidly are becoming big business. So I thought that was real interesting. And I've got something in here. The meeting drew 14 inquisitive individuals. And they had celebrated their 100th anniversary of this club in 2012. And they bring in guest speakers. For recreational pot, the choice was Amanda Burrup, a Portland-based policy analyst employed by the Oregon Liquor Control Commission. Oh my God. She covered the basics of the Oregon law legalizing recreational marijuana, the role her agency will play in regulating it, and some basics about the plant. One member jokingly asked if Barrows brought samples. She said she did not have any samples, only photos and facts. So we were talking about these rules and regulations, and this is from the Oregon Liquor Control Commission booklet. And this is mainly for people that are recreational. People 21 and older may possess recreational pot. They may have up to 8 ounces of usable dried marijuana in their home, or 1 ounce. Remember that, 1 ounce in their vehicle or outside their home. If you're recreational, you're allowed to grow 4 plants. If you're medical, you can have 6 plants. Pot must be used at home, and this is interesting, or on private land. This is real interesting. Public use is illegal for now. That'll change in the future, I hope.
We hope, yeah.
Yeah.
We hope. The trouble is, it's regulated just like alcohol. It has to be out of public view, and they. I don't. Yeah,
but alcohol isn't though. Alcohol is in the parks. It's everywhere.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Depends on the park, but some parks have no alcohol. Period. Other parks only have alcohol when they have events with a beer, like a beer tent type thing. But no, alcohol, like the Roy Jacobs Park, that's an alcohol-free.
Is it? That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's kind of a double-edged sword there, I guess. But yeah, we all believe we should be doing it out in the open. And they say, well, cigarette smokers can't do it in the open. Beer drinkers can't do it in the open either, you know. So, and then of course now the park department is going to invoke, or then already, the no smoking of tobacco in a city park. So, you know, I thought, well, one thing about it would make our event a little easier to enforce the no smoking, because that way it's no smoking of anything. It's just like the school grounds. You can't smoke anything on school grounds. So,
but I thought this was real interesting because you can use it at home or on private land. Think about that, private land. That could be a private farm, to me, anything like that. Public use is illegal. Pot may not be brought into or taken out of state. That's an important one, because if you're thinking about going to Washington and purchasing cannabis, they're stopping a lot of Oregon cars coming back. And I know, because I listened on the radio to someone associated with the State Troopers Association in Washington, and if someone's smoking in the back of the car and the driver's not doing anything and somebody else is smoking, the driver gets charged with a DUI.
wow.
And they'll take a blood test in Washington. Where they can't do it here, they'll do it in Washington. They'll take you downtown and take a blood test.
We've heard of cases of Oregon State Police contacting Idaho State Police to tell them that their car is coming their way with a description and license plate, and so the Idaho cops can nail them. How's that?
Yeah, we definitely got along.
Okay, we got to wrap it up here, and we got a second half, so we'll be right back.
Do you suffer from fear of losing your election? Are you terrified that voters will discover you've done nothing to improve their lives? Maybe it's time you talk to your spin doctor about Incarcerex. In clinical trials, Incarcerex has been shown effective at reducing election-related anxieties by making voters think you're doing something about the drug problem. It's simplistic and fast-acting. If your problems continue or get worse, you can always double or triple your dose of Incarcerex. Whether it's addiction, therapeutic use, or just casual use, there's an Incarcerex plan for every American. Best of all, taxpayers, not you, will foot the bill. So talk to your spin doctor about Incarcerex today. Common side effects include loss of civil liberties, police corruption, racial injustice, increased terrorism, spread of HIV and AIDS, and violent crime. Bloated prisons are also a common side effect. Stop taking Incarcerex if bloating lasts longer than 20 years. If you're trying to balance the budget, keep families together, or protect human rights, Incarcerex may not be right for you. Do not mix Incarcerex with the Constitution or common sense. So start taking Incarcerex and keep pretending you're doing something about the drug problem.
Welcome back to the episode 611, the second half. And you got DanK, your host here, and Blue Whale is joining us once again and catching us up on some of the local stories about cannabis and cannabis issues. And so what you could bring on the yellow pad today for us?
Well, I was talking earlier about recreational cannabis with limits. If you're recreational, you're going to have limits. Limited amount of recreational cannabis, flower and dry leaf products, plants and seeds. Of course, you have to be 21 and over to go to dispensaries. But the Oregon Health Authority has regulatory oversight of recreational pot sales through medical dispensaries. That's how they keep track of that. The Oregon Health Authority has oversight over the medical marijuana concentration limits. They're going to make medibles for recreation. It's coming this year, 3 to 5 grams.
Nanograms, is it? No, okay. I'm sorry.
Milligrams.
You're right, okay.
Yeah, for medical, it'll still be the same. My thought is that eventually they're going to have separate facilities for medical and recreational if they don't do away with the medical. Because last year they redid the medical marijuana bill, the governor and the state of Oregon. So they pretty much changed the medical marijuana. So, and I can tell you why they don't like it, because they don't receive any taxes from it. They'd rather see it all recreational, and then they'd make tax. So, and there's also going to be limits on how much oil you can get for recreational. There's going to be limits on that, which I haven't seen them yet, but they're still being worked out. So you can only get a limited amount of oils in the dispensaries right now. So a good thing to keep in mind for recreational users. It's worth getting the card, I think. And if you're a veteran, this is interesting. Oregon made it. It was you had to be 100% disabled as a veteran. Well, Oregon made it any veteran is $20 to the state.
Yep.
If you didn't know that, plus the price of your doctor where you go for your card.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just $20 to the state plus your certified money order.
That's right. If you got a doctor that would sign your papers, then you might have that already covered, and even that expense. But if you go to a clinic, the clinic will still charge you like
$175.
Yeah, somewhere $150, $175, but somewhere in there. But again, check around different clinics and check on the prices. But like Blue Wheel said, finally veterans getting a break. Even it used to be disabled veterans, 100% disabled veteran wasn't getting any kind of a break.
I'm 100%, and I was paying $200.
There you go. And so,
I wasn't. So in the last year they changed it. State changed it.
And the state is making buku money off the program, so it's about time they started treating the patients right. But anyway, that's great. And so, like you said, if you can once you get your card, get your card signed, and then the state fee, which is can be $150, I believe, or more.
It's more. It's like $200.
Yeah. So I mean that's a heck of a deal. And then, like you said, you can. There's a lot. The medical thing. It's a lot cheaper in the dispensaries. You can get better medibles. And there's
more benefits to the medical.
Right.
More benefits all the way around.
And we need to keep the medical. That's another thing too. And so not only do we need more medical more people to get medical cards, but we need more people with cards to help fight for the program.
Yes.
We were just discussing one of the major organizations, which was Oregon Green Free, was an incredible organization. They had chapters all over the states. They had a website. I used to send people there all the time. If you want information about medical marijuana, you go to Oregon Green Free, go to the forums, and I guarantee you there's a forum on that there somewhere to find what you need to know and somebody to help you. But unfortunately, I don't know. The Eugene chapter, we couldn't get anybody to come to meetings for like the last 3 years. And the Salem had a great chapter, and last I knew they were still meeting once or twice a month at some pizza thing there in Salem.
For Oregon Green Free?
Yeah, yeah. But now the website's down, and so I assume nobody paid the fee. I assume, I don't know. But anyway, the thing is, and that was a little note I made to myself, we have very, very little networking among patients, and we have very little opportunity for patients to network, and that's really unfortunate because patients can help each other. I know personally of a lot of patients that do their own thing and are experts at it and willing to help people, but you've got to know somebody to know somebody, you know, and that's just the way it is. So,
yeah, talking about the veterans, the U.S. Senate on November 10th of last year passed Bill FY 2016 Military Construction and Veterans Affairs Appropriation Bill, which includes language to allow Veterans Administration doctors to recommend medical marijuana to their patients in states where medical marijuana is legal. The language was included in an amendment in the Senate Appropriations Committee in May. Veterans in medical marijuana states should be treated the same as any other resident and should be able to discuss medical marijuana with their doctor, said Michael Collins, Deputy Director of National Affairs for the Drug Policy Alliance. It makes no sense that a veteran can't use medical marijuana if it helps them and is legal in their state. And I'm going to read you this quote. It is quite simply unacceptable for the Obama administration's top drug official to make comments that are contrary to what science and doctors say about medical marijuana. This was said by marijuana advocate Tom Angel in response to DEA chief calling medical marijuana a joke. So at this point, the Veterans Administration is fighting this. I haven't heard anything about it in the Congress, but the VA is fighting it. They don't want it. And I think it's a national disgrace myself. I think it's real disgraceful, the way they treat veterans.
yeah, definitely. And,
You
yeah,
know-
definitely. And we're both veterans, by the way, just for the record.
Yes, and I don't think it's right at all.
That's right.
You know, you should have a choice.
It's a freedom issue. That's what I've said for the last 20 years being an activist. It's all a freedom issue. That's-
Yes. Well, that's what I've always said. It's more of a civil rights issue. Yes. Uh-huh.
It's like a good friend of ours likes to say, he says, if we're going to make a plant illegal, why don't we make a plant illegal that we can all support? For instance, poison oak. Let's make it poison oak illegal. You have a fine if it's on your property, you know.
Uh-huh.
We don't get behind that. I don't see any need for poison oak that I know of.
Here's another one. State rules still being finalized for pot edibles. Oregon officials say candies, cookies, and beverages infused with the active ingredients in cannabis won't be available for recreational consumers for another month or two. And this paper is April 6th of this year. Last week it became legal for recreational buyers 21 and older to purchase low-dose edibles at medical marijuana dispensaries. First, however, the state must create rules for those sales, such as defining a low dose. Oregon Medical Marijuana Program Manager Andre Orso told the Bulletin. He said the Oregon Health Authority has already drafted the regulations. We don't have a specific date in mind. We're preparing to do it as quickly as possible, maybe a month or two. Edible products like candies, lozenges, or cookies are already available to medical marijuana card holders at varying degrees of dosages. Diamond Tree Company Director Summer Latchford said her business will probably offer edibles in 4 milligram and 5 milligram doses at 2 dispensaries in Bend and 1 at Madras. You'll be able to get them at other places, but that's just the one she's associated with. Said edible products can't be presented in a way that makes them attractive to children or made by infusing an existing product with cannabinoids, ruling out gummy bears, for instance. In other words, you can't take an existing candy and put cannabis oil on it. Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying. Mm-hmm. Because it is, because kids have got a hold of this. Mm-hmm. You don't want it around kids. Right. You know, you put it up in the closet away from kids. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, at the the Oregon Marijuana Business Conference, there was a packaging company there that was talking about that and medibles, and this one company is making them triangular shaped, which is kind of unique.
Triangular shaped.
Little triangles, you know.
Huh.
So, I mean, not like a little animal or something like a kid would be attracted to. It's just a triangle.
They would look more like a pharmaceutical.
Yeah. But anyway, we definitely don't want kids to be taking medicals. We got about a minute to go, so let's.
I just want to talk about how much money Oregon and Washington made. Washington made $709 million in 2015. Mm-hmm. State of Washington. Oregon made 3 times what they expected to make. They don't like us or the product, mm-hmm. but these people love the money. Mm-hmm. They love the money and what it represents. Mm-hmm. But if they could do away with us and make the money, they would do it.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, it shows they don't like us or the money, and since the medical marijuana program came to law, they've been trying to cripple it the best they can all through the years, and it's nothing changed. Next year, look out, that and the medical, it's going to be another big shootout.
Yes.
But, go ahead. We're coming up to the end here, so we've got to get out. I appreciate you coming in again, Blue Whale, and time runs out, and it's like it always does when you're with friends, so see you next time. Thank you.
Peace.